you've written the editorial essay at this point. If you haven't already finished it, pretend you have. Um, what I'm going to present to you now is an idea that, if you take it, will simplify this class for you, but will not take away from your learning curves, okay, from your growth. Here's my advice. If you stay with the topic that you picked for the editorial, you can use that for the upcoming major essays, basically for all of them. The next essay here is going to ask you to just research information on an issue like the one you looked at. So if you stay with the one you just used for the editorial, now it's time to go find some more voices and also the facts. Like if you looked at the opinion pieces that you used for this editorial essay that we've just done, you looked at people forming opinions about facts that they have found about the issue. And they're working from a collection of information, from facts that they understand to be true about this issue. Well, this research paper is going to ask you to do that about an issue. If you keep the same one, then you can grow. You can keep on working with this, and you can go find information on it, and eventually you'll write a research paper providing this information to me in your own written up essay. And then after that, I'll ask you to pick some of the major voices about this issue, and you'll provide an annotated bibliography on it. That's going to be a lot easier to write up than it may sound. But because you are still working with the one same issue, you might already have a great selection of sources at this point to do that without much problem. And then finally, the capstone essay is your own essay on explaining the essence of an issue, and then the value of it, why it's important to see it one way or another, and a way to really apply that conviction in real life, like what can be done about it. So there's going to be a policy aspect to the capstone essay, where you look at an issue and then at the end you advocate for some sort of action. You present a plan that can really kind of solve the issue or get us on the right track as a culture, get us on the right track towards solving it. And if it's not the one great solution, it might be one of a collection of solutions. But your capstone essay is going to have that drive, that purpose at the end is to try to move your readership into action. And you want to give them something to do about the view that you've presented, and that you have presented as a convincing view. Now, what I'm saying is that you can keep the same issue throughout all of them. And listen, you just did this editorial essay. You found 2 sources on it. You can use those sources down the line, right? Go find some more. Go research the issue. Get some facts. Write the research paper. You're going to have more voices, more sources at that time. Then I'll show you how to pick a few of those sources to write summaries on for the annotated bibliography. By that time, you'll have thought a lot about this topic, and you'll probably be ready, and it won't be that great of a task to just take your previous writing, use some of it, pick and choose, use it as Lego blocks, use it as writing material to help fashion a capstone project. So I am not going to force you. Force is the wrong word, but you can use the same topic throughout, the same issue that you picked to look at for your editorial. And if you do that, I think you will not your actual, like, the grunt work of research and of library work is going to be reduced, I believe, because you're accumulating it as you go. It's just happening over time. And so when you find you need it in the second part of the class, you find that you've already done a lot of work on it. Whereas you can change topics if you want to, but that means that you have to do a whole lot of back reading again to get the right number of sources up, to rethink it, and to write your view on it and whatnot. So if you kind of just say, look, If I just keep this topic of the editorial throughout, and I just use it throughout all these major essays, I do think that that's going to be an easier way to go about it. But please remember that you can switch topics if you want to. You're not tied into something. But I figure if you just kind of run with the one you have, and you let all the work you do for one assignment carry over to the next one, and at that point the work you did for those two assignments carries over to the third, and then the work you did for those three assignments, all of that work you can use for the capstone. You're being very efficient with your information and the work that has come before, right? You're using it all. It's just rolling into the next assignment. Whereas if you keep on switching your topics, then you can't do that. So it's something to think about. My job is to make this class as efficient and doable as possible for you, while making sure that you are growing as a thinker and as an articulator, in this case as a writer. So I think if we can eliminate things that are busy work or whatnot, and you put in 2 hours into something, and the return of investment in terms of actual learning is not that much, then that's not a good educational tool. It's taking up too much time that you can use in another class, or in a relationship, or for a job, or for rest. I hope that is also something that is very serious on your priority list: rest and relaxation. You're a machine here, and if you run your machine at top speed for too long, you're going to break something. You're going to burn out. And in terms of long-term efficiency, that is not a good strategy. In terms of short-term benefit, it might, but I really would not consider that person a lifelong learner, because they don't know how to play the long game. They're working their engine too hard, too fast, for some short, in terms of their whole life, some short-term moment. But learning how to keep the output sustainable, right, means you have to play this whole balancing game with your physical body, sleep, eating right, but also with your mental body, relaxing, intensely focusing, and then giving your brain time to rest by doing a hobby, by watching a fun movie, by going out somewhere, by taking time off. And if you can't take a day off, which I don't know how many of us can just decide to take a day off, you can take 30 minutes off or an hour off or something. So there's strategy behind that too. And I want to make sure that you're doing that, and that you're being as efficient as you can with your work. And I need to be doing that as well, with the way that this class is structured. All right. Okay. Thanks for watching. I hope that this has helped.